Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending from where you are tuning in today. You are welcome. I am Ambassador Veronique Lawson, and I welcome you into Mamlaka Brokers Network, or how we affectionately call it MBN. Please tell us, where are you tuning in today from? Hola, Oni. I see that you're watching. Allow me to reiterate what Mamlaka Brokers Network stands for. MBN is a platform designed for a principle for the kingdom living effectively. Our aim is but not limited to imparting knowledge and understanding by providing our audience with a practical solution for their lives' daily struggle, but most importantly, to bridge the gap of division within the ecclesia of Christ Jesus. That is who we are, contrasting the worldly fact with the kingdom truth, the original. So today we have a very special treat for you. We are joined by a distinguished, prominent, and first-class kingdom ambassador, a dynamic leader in the government, Mayor Derek R. Wood, all the way from the United States of Virginia, the city called Dumfries. Mayor Wood will be discussing this topic, keys to kingdom government impact. There is no doubt about the fact that people around the world today are suffering from economical uncertainty and for political instability and social unrest. Why, you may ask? Because of poor government, because the government that are serving us is being destroyed. So, but not only we want to affect change, but we want to do an effective one, a kingdom governmental change that will restore heavenly order into our nation. That was all Jesus teaching, to restore the kingdom, the heavenly kingdom here. So he demonstrated actually through the cultural and through infiltration. So he has a strategy way for us to be able to transform a nation. We need to transform a nation through cultural integration and infiltration by our heavenly government into the nation, or into the government of the nation. And his disciple, namely the student of Jesus Christ, demonstrated. So today, keys to kingdom government impact will share some light as to how you could actually affect or make change in your community and even to your governmental nation. Mayor Derek Wood, let me introduce him from his own condensed biography or own sketch biography. Derek Wood is a successful author, a veteran, an entrepreneur, a family man. He is currently serving as a mayor of Dumfries, Virginia. I hope that I pronounced it well. Respected as a leader wherever he goes. Wood has gained the support of many within his community, with the commitment of the community service and his relentless quest to create a world where excellence is a standard. Wow, I love it. I love it. Constantly pursuing higher heights. The Marine veteran can be found ushering in various waves of purpose for living, knowing firsthand the power of perseverance. Wood empowers others to pursue their purpose with vigor and intentionality. His modern and unique approach to leadership and impact have left room for opportunity to share his transformational word of wisdom and rediscovering purpose, refocusing vision, clarifying potential, and much more. With an air of relatability and a true sense of confidence, Derek R. Wood serves everyone he encounters with a humility and charm. He is the founder and pitmaster of Divine Barbecue in Motion, a mobile barbecue catering company, restaurant, and a competition team. Wow. He and Divine Barbecue team happily and successfully serve the DMV, which I think is a Dumfries, Virginia area, with food that is full of flavor and cooked to perfection. My goodness. Derek R. Wood resides in Dumfries, Virginia, with his beautiful wife and his children. So sit back, pull out your notepad, your Bible, and hear for yourself the tale from our guest today. Importantly, do not forget to post or to write the comment or type your question in. But one thing I will allow you before I give the floor to our guest today: be the media evangelist. Share this broadcast with many of your entourage, because you know what? People perish because of lack of knowledge. So today, light is going to be shared as to how we can bring kingdom impact in government. The floor is yours, Ambassador Mayor Derek Wood.
Listen, Ambassador Lawson, I appreciate that warm introduction. You know what I'm saying? You understand when you're home already because you feel the presence of the governor in the place, and the governor has already ushered us in. So we thank you, Ambassador, for that beautiful introduction. Thank you for what you do with MBN. This platform is one that is needed to really infiltrate the airwaves and the media. And so you infiltrated the media. So it's important to have that mediator to influence and be able to get into the ear gates and the eye gates of the people, and to hopefully give them ideas that they've never seen before so they can impact their area of authority. So thank you for what you're doing. Is much needed. You're operating in your gifting, and your light is continuing to shine because we can see the glory of the God in what you're doing. So thank you for that. I wanted to make sure I said that to you, Ambassador, because I definitely appreciate it. It's a breath of fresh air, because with the waves, the airwaves are so inundated. I ask this question everywhere I go. Like, does the news report good news or do they report bad news? And 10 out of 10 times, everybody will tell me that the news media and the airwaves reports bad news, right? And so as a result, people are being programmed not to see positive, but to see negative in the world. And I believe that you don't see what's there, you only see what you've been programmed to see, right? And I remember when Nicodemus came to Jesus at night. We like to call him Nick at night. And he said, "What must I do in order to see this kingdom that you're talking about?" And Jesus told him, "Except you be born again, you can't even see what I'm talking about." And it's your conditioning, right? We don't, until we change the way we look at a thing, the thing that we're looking at will never change. And so I'm so excited about this topic, the keys to kingdom government, right? Because I am in the government, and the kingdom is about government, and it's about governing. And I think one of the biggest keys, if I could just talk about one of the keys, I think you got to start with is you got to first identify that you are the solution to whatever problem it is that you see in the world. Like you are the solution. So identify the problem, whatever the problem is, that you are ultimately the solution, right? Because you can't change a system that you avoid. Let me say that again. Understand that you can't change a system that you avoid. And there's different types of change. There's change that happens around you. There's change that happens to you. And then there's the change that you create. And I think everybody who calls themselves an ambassador of heaven has to recognize that you are, if you're not yet, you are going to be a change agent, right? Our mission, right, that was the mandate that was put on us, is to transform followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change. And so as a change agent, you have to identify the problem and the system that you want to irritate, and you really want to engage and get out. Ambassador Lawson said to us earlier that we are the ecclesia, right? We are the called out ones. We are the Roman Senate. That was a governing agency, right? And so we represent that. If you're taking notes, I want to reiterate what a leader is, according to one of the master teachers that I had the privilege of being directly mentored by. I have the privilege of calling him Papa. He taught us that leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, but it's motivated by a passion that's been generated by vision, produced by something that convicted you, but it was all ignited by purpose. And the way you work that definition of leadership is you got to work it backwards. I'm gonna read it to you one more time so that those of you who are taking notes can get it. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration. It's motivated by passion, it's generated by vision, it's produced by conviction, and it's ignited by purpose. Right? And so to understand the keys to kingdom government, I got to tell you my story and how I got into government and governing. One day I was barbecuing, I was cooking my barbecue on the side of the road. I got kicked off the side of the road. Cease and desist. Here comes my problem, right? I can be like everybody else and I can complain about the government, but because of who I've been influenced by, because of the type of exposure, it birthed in me a purpose. Why? Because where purpose isn't known, abuse is inevitable. I had to learn what government was and what it was to govern. So my first key was purpose. What is government? Right? And we know, you may or may not know, that government creates laws. Laws is what's normal in the society, and laws create the culture. Every kingdom colonizes a territory. The first thing they establish is they bring in the governor, and they bring in about 300 from the original kingdom, and they establish laws because they want the colony to look like whatever the kingdom looked like. And so laws help to dictate that. But politics and if you understand government, it's a Greek philosophy, right? We know that the world is ruled by dead men's ideas. So you have Plato and Aristotle, they came together and they talked about this democracy that we have. And democracy is only as powerful as the leader who's writing the laws and that's creating the culture. And so the government can either be your friend or the government can be your foe. It just depends on what role you play in government. And so you got to identify your purpose in government, right? So when you look at that definition of leadership, you start with purpose. And my purpose was, when I got kicked off the side of the road, is initially I needed to figure out how to change the laws so that I can feed my family in this position of barbecue. And when I got into the system, and I was so ignited by that purpose that I developed a vision once I got in, right? So purpose led to vision. And my vision was, as I began to learn the history, right? Purpose goes back to the history now. And so when you look at history, it's important to know, why was everything established? Purpose is always in the mind of the creator or the one who created something and established it. I hope y'all getting what I'm saying now.
That's so
Purpose
good.
is, huh? You getting
That's
what I'm
so
putting?
good. I'm
Yeah,
getting it.
yeah. Yeah, purpose is always in the mind of the creator and the one who established it. So as I created my purpose or my why, you remember Moses also had a mission. He did not like slavery. Matter of fact, when he saw the people who looked like him getting beat, Moses got angry and he actually killed the slave driver. And he felt bad about what he did, but it ignited something on the inside that sent him out into the wilderness for 40 years before he came back. And God said, look, I can use that anger. And so you got to look at your purpose. Come on, listen to me. Listen to me, ambassadors. Your purpose is going to be fueled by that thing that makes you angry, that thing that you're watching, that you try to avoid, that thing that just continues to prick at you. It's that one problem that you constantly see that you know that you can do better. You got ideas. You got solutions that were already inherited, built on the inside of you, that you know that you can solve the problem. And at the time when I got kicked off the side of the road, I didn't know nothing about local politics. I didn't know nothing about national politics. I didn't know nothing about this party stuff that goes on. I just knew that I had a problem that needed to be solved. So I decided to be yeast. My papa at the time, he said, be yeast. And I said, be yeast. He said, yeah, remember, yeast gets in and engages in a system that don't even know it need to be engaged. And yeast doesn't make no noise. It's very small. It's very quiet. And most of the time when the flour begins to overtake the yeast, right, the flour looks like it already took over the yeast. Here it was, I was this barbecue getting influenced by this whole system. but in the midst of it, they didn't know I was yeast. And there was a lot of heat and there was a lot of pressure that began to activate me, and my vision then became ignited. I looked at the history of what this community was built on, and I said people need to rediscover the original intent and why this community was being built. And at the time, I got involved in the system of the Dumfries, Virginia. We were economically depressed. People would just drive through my community and they wouldn't drive to it. They were building and developing to the north, to the south, to the east and the west, but my community had no development. It was stagnant on the growth, and people understand and know its name. It was one of the, I want to say, laughing stocks of the community before I want to say I got into the system. And so I developed a vision. My vision was to become overwhelmingly passionate about making the town of Dumfries a destination place where people wanted to live, work, and play. And I became obsessed with that vision. The vision was so big that I had to get other people influenced and excited of being part of the vision. And so what was one of the keys? One of the keys is I had to really develop my leadership skills, right? This is a key to governing. You have to develop your leadership skills because nothing is yours until you discover it for yourself. So this had to become a discovery process because who I was at the moment I got kicked off the side of the road wasn't who I needed to be to govern my community, right? So there had to be a certain level of development, right? And it's almost like Matthew chapter 13, verse 44, where it says, the kingdom is like a merchant looking for a pearl, right? And when he found the pearl, he had to bury it again, go back and sell every other ideology, philosophy, everything else, just so he can buy that field again and just so he can discover it over and over and over again. And so as I got into politics, as I got into governing and government, I had to become a student. I had to become a disciple. And you have to really get disciplined at your gifts and your talents if you're going to multiply them, right? Because God give one talent, another two, another five. He don't give them what they pray for. He gives them what they manage well. And so this is all about principles of management. If you want to be effective in the kingdom and kingdom government, you got to be an effective manager. You got to be effective at managing yourself, your gifts, right? And so I had to develop myself and I had to learn what it was I was trying to get into. And so as I began to infiltrate the system, I didn't know how to run an election. I didn't know how to win an election. So eventually I lost until I found a mentor, right? This is another key. Find somebody who's already where you at and learn from them. Success leaves clues, right? Somebody said that the wealth of the wicked, the wealth of the righteous is stored up with the wicked. Like the wicked got what you want. Why? Because the wicked know something that you don't know, right? And so it doesn't matter who you learn from, whether they're wicked or they're righteous. If they have what you need and they have what you want, I hope you get this key. You need to learn from them and be mentored from them because they got principles. The principles, you can't break principles. It don't matter if you're wicked or you're righteous or whatever you are. You can't break the principles. Principles break you. I guarantee you, if you go to the roof of your building and you try to walk off, you as an individual can't break the principle of gravity. Gravity will break you if you try to walk off and fly on your own because you don't have flight built inside of you, right? And so there's certain principles in government and governing that work no matter who you are, right? So you got to understand that. Don't look at the individual. Don't look at it in America. In the United States, we have a two-party system, or really three. You got independents, but independents get to go either way they want. You have Democrat and Republic. Most people get distracted by what we call partisan politics, right? They get distracted by if it's a Republican or a Democrat. What you need to get focused on is how can you learn the principles to get into the system, because if you're not in the system, you can never change the system, right? How does yeast impact flour if the yeast never gets into the flour, right? So you can never change a system that you avoid. You can never change and get your laws engaged if you don't get into the side or play the game in the way that you can do the most influence and you can benefit other people in your community, right? And so you got to understand, all right, if you're taking notes of the keys that you need, it's going to start with you getting a purpose, because what purpose isn't known, abuse is inevitable. Two, you need to develop a vision, right? And then as you develop the vision, you got to fall in love with that vision. Like that vision has to be the thing that drives you, and that's got to be your ultimately your mission that you got to be really convicted by, right? And then it's going to be a passion that's going to motivate you to get out the bed and do what you need to do. That vision is going to inspire others, right? Because it's going to give you the capacity to really influence, and it's going to really show your leadership gift. And so as I began to engage in the system, and I won my first election as a councilman. I didn't start off as the mayor because I wasn't ready. Like, had I become the mayor right away, all the success that I've seen over the last just 4 years would have never happened without the 6 years previous. I've been elected for 10 years now. And when I got elected in 2012, a Papa Miles came and he stood in front of the mayor at the time, and he told the mayor, he said, yeah, my son Derek is going to be the mayor of this place. And I had only been elected for 2 weeks at the time in 2012. And it was pretty interesting because I'm looking at him like, I'm going to be the mayor. I don't even know if I didn't even know if I wanted to be in politics at the time. I had a vision and I had a purpose. My vision hasn't changed. My vision has been steadfast for the past 10 years. You got to understand, this is a key. Most people get into government and they don't have a vision. Their vision only benefits themselves, right? Their vision is only because they want a title. Their vision is only because they want a position. Their vision sometimes is only they want to sit at the table. And if that's your vision, a true vision doesn't benefit you, but a true vision benefits other people, right? A true vision benefits a whole community. A true vision will benefit a nation, right? And so as you start to really keen in on keys to governing, you got to look at a vision that's going to benefit humankind. That's going to benefit a nation. Yes, you got it. And so that's what the vision came. And so my vision was, listen, I wanted to make this community back what it was when it was started. It was a waterfront property with a port. Boats came out. We had as much goods and services leaving this community, and we rivaled the port of New York City in 1798. I mean, we had that much commerce going out, and here it was, we were economically depressed. And that made me feel bad as an entrepreneur, as a business guy, as somebody who felt like I had authority in my gifts, and I wanted to see that change. And so I felt like I had to become the change, right? But it's no good if I couldn't influence or I couldn't impact other people to be inspired to get on board and get in line with the same vision. And as you see over the years, it's been my ability to communicate that vision, right? Because a vision is no good if it's not shared. And everybody else has to buy into the vision. Because if you get more than one vision, you start to have division, right? You start to go in different. And that's kind of like what you see when you get into a lot of, on my level, we don't have to deal with whether you on this side of the fence or that side of the fence, because it doesn't matter. I'm on the local level where everybody wants to know, are the street lights working? They want to know, are the potholes good? They want to know, are my taxes low? They want to know, is my trash getting picked up? They want to know, am I doing things that's going to benefit my neighbors, right? And so I'm able to show tangible results. On other levels of government, it's hard to show that immediate results. But as a mayor in a community, I can show these results often and daily. Does that make sense? Y'all getting what I'm picking up? Hope y'all are. Y'all comment now. If y'all in there, I need y'all to come and talk to me too now in the comments. Let me know y'all getting this. Now,
we're getting it.
Say y'all getting what I'm picking.
It's so good. We're getting it. I like what you're saying. It's really, really thoughtful, and then it give very clear vision and perspective to people to attend to go into the government. Please, Mayor, continue.
Yeah. So once I developed that clear purpose and that clear vision, the next part was to make sure that you have a good team, right? Because if you want to go fast, you go alone. This is a proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to develop a team. All right. So now when you initially infiltrate a government system, it's just you by yourself. Now, your job now is to take the baton that you have in your hand and to be able to pass that vision on to others, right? And to get other people excited about the vision and to want to be a part of the vision. One of the keys to my success is to be able to attract other people who are attracted to the vision, who can see further than my eyes can see, right? Because vision, right? Let me tell you what's worse than being blind is to have sight and no vision, right? Helen Keller said that, right? And so I can see further than my eyes can see, but I needed other people to be able to close their eyes and to see what I was showing them, right? Vision is really the capacity to see further than your eyes can see. And so I understood now government was bigger than me, but I had to bring people in on different levels of the government. And I had to find people who had the same values I had. I needed to find people who believed in some of the same things I had, and I needed to bring them into it, right? And so another effective key is you got to seek out mentor mentee relationships, right? So mentoring is another important aspect of governing because you got to be able to bring other people to the table. As you begin to learn, you got to teach what you're learning, right? Once taught is going to be twice learned for you. Let me say that again. Once taught is twice learned. So as you learn it, you teach it, you learn it again, right? And so your effectiveness as a governing official begins to grow because of your ability. And so as I went out, I began to build a team. I began to put people on planning commissions. I begin to put people on board of zoning appeals. I begin to put people in positions where they had seat at the table where they could begin to learn and influence on different levels of government until there was an election coming up and it was like, okay, it's time for you to step up to this level. It's time for you to step up to this level. And now I need you to run your leg of the race. I need this part of the vision for you to take and run, right? Because now it's a shared vision. And so, an effective way to do it is through mentorship too, because you need other people if you're going to go far, right? And I started off the mistakes I made initially. My first election, I tried to go fast. I did it alone and I lost. And I recognized I needed to join a team, right? And let me put this side note if you're taking notes. Just because you're on the team don't mean you have to think like the team. Can I say that again? Just because you're on the team don't mean you have to think like the team. There are over almost 8 billion people on the planet, and God has not duplicated not one fingerprint, meaning you're an original. Like there's some original ideas, there's some original thoughts that you've been given. And so don't be a copycat or a carbon copy of somebody else, but you go on the team and you being original. The problem we're seeing now in national politics and even some is politics that it's group think. Like everybody's thinking like this group or everybody's thinking like this group, and you're losing the individuality, right? And even as ambassadors, you don't even have to have an opinion of your own. All you have to do is go to the original Constitution, and all you got to do is quote your section and the subsection and what you're trying to get done. And one of the keys to being effective is you got to look at it from a historical context, right? And understand how important history plays into the present. Because there's nothing new under the sun. Like everything that's been done, believe it or not, has already been done another type of way. There's no new ideas. We're just implementing ideas that somebody else didn't implement on it, right? Because we understand that the greatest tragedy in life, it's not death, right? Because people die all the time. But the greatest tragedy in life is for people to live a life without purpose or not even knowing what their purpose is, right? And so as you drive by most of the graveyards every day, a lot of people don't even recognize that it's probably one of the wealthiest places in your community. It's people who died with solutions, probably to cure the cancer. Somebody died with the solution to fix some national political issue in your community. Somebody died with a business they didn't start, with a way to create some economic development. Like, you hold the solution to a problem in the world that you are yet to release because of some type of fear, right? And the creator hasn't given you a spirit of fear, right? That's something that you learned, again, by the environment that you're in, what you're listening to, what you're seeing. Like, your five senses, right, influences if you walk in faith or you walk in fear. And that's why shows like this is important on MBN, right? Ambassador Lawson put this together because she wanted to stretch you. She wanted to show you something that you never seen. She wanted you to hear something that you never heard before. She wanted to create an environment that was almost like Eden. It was an open gate, right? That it was a spot where you could be connected back to some original information and the source that was going to get you from where you are to where it is that you need to be. And so it's no mistake that you're watching this show right now. It's no mistake that you shared this with other people because you wanted them too to be exposed to this. And it's no mistake that you're staying actively engaged with us right now. And so you need to develop your purpose, your why. You need to get your vision. You need to look for a replacement, right? You need to find somebody that you mentor, that you bring along. And in addition to that, you need to really make sure that you're actively learning and growing in this season. You with me?
Yes, I'm there. I'm just wanted to read the comment of Ambassador George Abraham, all the way from Germany. Hello, Ambassador George Abraham. Sir, you inspire me because my dream has always been to become a mayor. I don't know if I will make it, but because of your example, I will believe it until I die. Wow, that's, you see, you already inspire someone, Mayor Derek.
Yeah, that's good. And so the key right now is to find that one problem that you need to solve, right? You got to get engaged in the community, right? So I'm a servant leader. Like, my natural gift is hospitality, right? So I serve the people food, right? Because my gift of hospitality. Remember when Jesus was in the upper room and they were having dinner and he looked around and we would call them the brothers of thunder. The mom was like, yeah, I want my son to sit on the left and the right, and we all want to be great. And Jesus stopped them while they was having dinner. He said, you want to know who the greatest one in this restaurant? He was like, who, what do y'all need right now? They was like, yo, I'm hungry. I need my food. So he was like, look over there. That server, she's the greatest one in this room, right? And so your key to being able to get to mayor, right? I'm a community servant. Like we got community cleanup day, they're gonna see the mayor there. If there's a family fun fitness day, the mayor is gonna be there, right? Because I'm looking to provide a solution. And that's what the community is looking for. And not only that, is I'm bringing ideas. Understand that in the beginning was God's spoken idea, right? It was the word, logos, right? And logos was with us. His spoken ideas was with us. You have ideas to benefit your community. This is one to get, if you want the blueprint for working your way to mayor, get in first as a council member. Get in on some boards and some commissions, right? Find some local communities to really get in, because it's going to be your ability to serve people that's going to get you to the mayorship, right? Don't look at mayor as just so you can have a title or a position. Don't look at mayor just because it's been a dream of yours, right? Joseph saw his brothers bowing down to him in a dream, and he told his brothers that I see y'all bowing down to me, and mom and dad, they're gonna be bowing down to me. And they thought Joseph was crazy. And Joseph didn't even know why he had that dream. But Joseph had a gift. Listen to me, brother. You got a gift, and you got to figure out what your gift is. And Joseph's gift was interpreting dreams and implementing them. So the brothers end up throwing him in a ditch, getting him sold into a slave for Potiphar, right? He went into Potiphar's house. Potiphar's wife tried to get with him. He was like, listen, you look good, my husband, he's committed to the king, to the Pharaoh. So won't you come lay with me? Joseph was like, can't do it, because I ain't gonna mess with Potiphar like that or my God. And so she tried to get naked and lied on him, and he got thrown in jail because he ran up in there and was like, yo, why my wife ain't got no clothes on? So Joseph went to jail. You know the story. Two guys in there. He interpreted their dreams for him. He said, look, when you get out, I need you to remember me. But the whole time, Joseph is continuing to use his gifts, right? Listen, it's your gift. Solomon, the wisest man, he said, your gift makes room for you. It opens the doors that's going to put you at the table where you need to go. And this is good. I hope you're getting this. So Joseph, one of the guys gets out, he dies. The other one, everybody's trying to figure out how to help the Pharaoh with his dreams. And they say, I remember, they don't even remember his name. I remember this guy when I was locked up in jail who can interpret dreams. And so they went back to him, right? And the community is looking for whatever your gift is. They might not know your name right now, but if you keep showing up and if you keep serving your gift. My gift was barbecue. And you got to understand that barbecue continues to this day to open up doors. Everybody looks for my barbecue. So although I'm the mayor, my identity is the barbecue man. Right now, you got to ask yourself before you can govern, what are you known for in your, Brian, I know you're hungry. What are you known for in your community? That's what you got to. So if somebody was to call your name, what would be the thought that comes to their head? Like if we say Tiger Woods right now, you would probably say golf. If I said Michael Jordan or LeBron James, you probably think of basketball, right? Most of the people know Derek Wood, not as the mayor, but as the ambassador of barbecue, right? Because I barbecue. That's what I do. And so my gift continues to serve, and people look for that gift. So if you want to become somebody in your community who serves in an elected position, you don't have to put your verbs together and your adjectives. You don't have to be able to talk good and elegant. But what you do have to be able to do is you got to be able to discover your gift, and you got to serve your gifts back to your community. And the more you serve your gifts to the community, the more your identity gets locked into your gift, and the more the community will be able to trust you and bring you in.
Yeah,
Hopefully, does that give you some insight on how you can get your track to becoming the mayor?
yeah, yeah. I think that he said that he has a business. He has a cleaning business. I have a cleaning business because I saw my people having difficulty to get a job. Can I start with this, sir? So can he start with the cleaning business that he have in his community? This way, what is his question?
Yeah, absolutely. Start with the cleaning business, become known, right? When you have a gift, you want to operate in your gift with excellency, right? Serve your gift with, like, even if you got to go out there to some of the charity organizations and give your gift away a little bit, but give the people jobs, go in and get the best cleaning. But while you're doing your cleaning business, identify the problems in the government that they're not solving. And if you have ideas to help them solve it, then you need to start bringing your ideas to the table. You need to find ways to begin to engage yourself in the system that you want to change, right? So it's not just about having the title, but what are you going to bring to the table? What ideas? What solutions are you bringing? Because you got to be solution oriented. Most people in the world focus on the problems and nobody focuses on the solutions, right? So start looking at that, because the most powerful force on the world is an idea. You can't defeat an idea. If you attack an idea, it only grows, right? And the only way to beat an idea is you got to introduce it to a better idea. And I believe you got some better ideas. Your destiny is not ahead of you, but it's trapped on the inside of you.
Beautiful. I love that. If you attack an idea, it only multiplies, it only grows. I love it, Papa Mars.
Yeah. Hey, I can only give birth to what's in me.
Exactly, exactly. And I love the fact that you gave us already three keys. The way you talk, you brought it perfectly. As we're talking today, for all of you who have already just joined in now, we're talking about keys to kingdoms, as a key to kingdom government and impact. And
Mm.
so today we have this incredible ambassador, Mayor Derihu, who has shared thus so far great keys with us. And I'm just going to highlight some keys that you say. You say it begins first with you. Develop your leadership skill. Nothing is yours until you discover it. Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
You have
yeah.
to become a disciple. Be disciplined in your gifting and in your talent. Educate yourself about what you really want to get yourself into. Find a mentor. And then you remember that principle. You will never break it because principle only break us. Never. No one has ever break a principle and go out like that. Um, don't look at the individual when you look for a mentor. Don't look at the individual. Maybe the person you want to emulate is in the other camp. But just find the type of principle and the thing that he's doing or her or she is doing that you could now implement with kingdom mindset and change. Oh, I love
Mhm.
that. And the two that you gave, number two was develop a vision. And I love that true vision always is always about other people. It's
Yeah.
never about self. It's never about me, my family, myself, me, my family. No, no. It's always about your community, the nation, and even the world. I like that. And have a good team. That's number three. And certainly you spoke about mentoring because at the end of the day, you have to be able to pass on the baton, right? And
Yeah.
continue the legacy. Wow.
Yeah, most government officials now they want to stay in it. They want to die in the position. They want to die in the seat. We got to see 3 generations of Nelson Mandela before he died, of people that he mentored and he passed it on, right? Because he was able to develop the vision and somebody else was able to pick up the baton. And I think that's an essential part of it. And then when you talked about finding a mentor, it's somebody who's effectively doing what you want. You might not agree with everything they're doing or how they're doing certain things, but they're effective at their job, right? And they know something to be effective. They if they want a seat and they're in a position is because they know something that you might not know. And so it's good to be able to seek, like, that mentorship is something that has to be sought. Like, you ought to seek out a mentor, somebody in your community that's doing what you want to do, somebody that's already in the seat that you want to see, and just get in a position where you can serve them, right? Because there's a cost of mentorship, right? The Bible, listen to me. The Bible says, wherever your treasure is, there's your heart. All right, what does that mean? Let me translate that for you. There's 2 books that tell your life story. One is the Bible, and the other is your checkbook, right? If you really value making a difference, then you're not just gonna go to your mentor, right? Asking your mentor to train you. You're gonna go and you're gonna bring your treasure to your mentor. You're gonna serve them because it's just an exchange, right? And that's just showing that's you coming with a certain level of faith, right? We know in the kingdom, right, our currency is faith, right? But on this side, in the physical realm, our currency is money, right? And so our money is based on our talents. And so if we wherever we value things is where we put our money, right? We show what we spend. And so when you go to a mentor, you need, like, we had a mentorship, and a lot of people don't know it. We paid to be mentees with Dr. Miles Monroe,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
We paid. We sold into it. We had to pay an annual fee to be a
Yeah.
mentor. And it was important because uh when you pay attention. Number one, let me say that. Can I say that again? When you pay attention, right? Because it shows you value your mentor, right? So don't just go looking for a mentor that you don't want to sow into and buy. So go there and figure out how you can invest or what your mentor needs. If your mentor is somebody who is elected, then hey, invest in their campaign, right? Campaigns cost money, right? Yep. When you pay attention. Campaigns cost money. We have to buy we got to buy all kinds of material. We got to buy these campaign brochures, right? We got to buy a bunch of those. We got to buy yard signs. We got to buy postage. We got to buy mail. We got to buy advertisement either on TV or on the internet. And so there's money. Like, if you want a political mentor, the best way to get a political mentor is say, hey, let me help you raise money or let me write a check, right? So that's one of the best ways you can get you a political mentor to be able to get in that spirit. And I know people say it shouldn't be about money. Well, it's not about money, but money is what it takes to make things go round. And
Yeah.
so what you got to invest in, right? because the things that you value. So wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart, that's where your subconscious mind is, right? And so we know that you put money at the things that you value. So we look in your checkbook or we look in your bank account, we'll know what you value. If it's food, if it's entertainment, or if it's education, right? But those that your checkbook is going to determine where you value because that's where you put your treasure at.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you say it well. Money answers everything. We didn't say it. The scripture, our constitution says, money answers all things. So
Absolutely.
when you pay something, you will value it. And
Yeah.
I like that because
We-
mentorship really costs us. We have to travel. We have to be here at a certain time with Dr. Monroe. He expect us to be there. And if you don't be there, then you will get out.
Absolutely. We had homework assignments. We had to do writing assignments. We had to develop all kinds of stuff sitting under him. And so, yeah, that's why it's important when you pay attention. And those lessons that you get for the mentor, because even as I'm talking to you, I can't tell you everything I know in one setting, right? So you don't get everything I know, right? And so sometimes it's important to go out and research, and we might give you a reference to a book, we might give you a reference to something else, right? Not because we don't know it, but because you need to discover it for yourself, right? What separates a disciple or a student from somebody who's just there to be entertained or just to get something? Well, a discipleship is a level of sacrifice, right? When you look at the disciples, right? I like the scripture in Matthew 13, right? Because at the beginning of Matthew 13, Jesus taught in a parable. He said that there was about sowing seed, and some seeds fell here, some seeds fell there, some seeds fell there, and some seeds. It was like four different types of places that it fell, right? And he was talking to the multitudes, and then when they got around verse 10 in Matthew 13, the disciples turned to him and say, "Why are you speaking to them in parables?" Right? And Jesus said, because the mysteries, like the things I'm trying to teach them, it's not for them. They don't really want it. They're not willing to pay anything. They're not willing to get up and move, right? They don't want to make no sacrifice. Like you guys left your fishing business behind. You gave me all your fish and you're traveling with me, right? You made a level of, they're just here because I'm giving them free food and bread. They're just here because of the entertainment aspect of it, right? And so discipleship is so important because of the sacrifice that you make, right? It shows that you're no longer here, but you're on a high, you understand the value of the information that you're getting. Like if you don't sow into Ambassador Lawson's show for like what she's doing, and I don't know if she got a partnership or a membership, but it's showing that you're just coming here to be entertained. Like you're not going to really get anything of value because you don't have nothing invested into it. And there's a certain level of investment for people who value things, right? And so the disciples value things. And so he told them, he said, let me tell you about knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, right? There's certain people, there's certain seeds that go because people only got knowledge. There's certain seeds that go because people got understanding. And they got understanding and knowledge, but they ain't got no wisdom. He said that's like a smoking doctor, somebody who knows that smoking impacts you and kills you, but at lunch they go out and they smoke, right? And so wisdom is when not only you know and you comprehend and understand, but you got some application, right? So you're hearing what we're saying. We're giving you the major key to we're giving you the key that's going to unlock the door. And it's no good to just have the keys if you don't know how to use them, if you don't know which door they go into. Now we gave you the key and we need you to use the key and open the door, right? And so we're giving you like mentorship. If you want to look at it, it's like the fast pass, right? If you look at like in America, we got these lanes where you can pay to get on so you don't have to sit in traffic. We call it the fast pass, right? You can either sit in traffic or you can pay the fast pass. And mentorship is like the fast pass. It's you getting in the fast lane. Like if you go to these amusement parks like Disney and Six Flags, right? Disney, you can pay to get into the front of the line. And it saves you time. Really, it's two things. You can either pay with your time or you can pay with your money. One thing I can tell you about time is you're not going to get any time back. Time, as the songwriters say, is filled with swift transition. And what we're spending each and every day is time. You're not spending money, right? Time is what you need to save. So if you can save time by getting you a mentor, you'll make more money in the long run. So you either pay with your time or you pay with your money.
That's true. Beautiful, beautiful, Mayor Derry. Wow, wow. So, did you have any other keys for kingdom, government, impact that you maybe would like to share before we move to our session of question? He said, "Thank you very much, sir. I will never forget your advice firsthand. Thank you very much. May the Lord bless and keep you." Thank you very much, Ambassador George Abraham, on the way from Germany.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think if they take those keys and they apply it, I think they will become very successful at governing. The key is it's not what you know that makes you who you are. Knowledge alone, a lot of people say knowledge is power. It's not what you know that makes you who you are. It's what you do with what you know. All right? You got to draw application. Bible says wisdom is the principal thing.
No
Therefore,
knowledge.
get wisdom, and all you're getting, get understanding. You got to get understanding so that you can obtain wisdom. And the wisdom is you applying what you know and what you understand. So, as you understand, the key to government in the kingdom, right, is you to be able to really draw some application, to go out and to forever be a student. Study to show yourself approved, a workman unto God, so that you can rightly divide this word, so that you can rightly have the right idea. So when you get in the system, you can govern effectively. And nobody in the world is going to understand why you're going to be successful, but you're going to have the Midas touch, because everything you touch is going to turn to bless. Everything you touch is going to be favored because you're going to be a king's kid. And just because of the king said so. And the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein.
My favorite scripture. I
Yeah,
love that one.
yeah.
The
And
earth
so
is
and so and
Lord.
look, Ambassador Lawson, my success has been some of those principles. Joshua gave me the fundamental principle. He said, "This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but in it, I want you to just meditate. I need you to chew on it. I need you to think about it day and night, right? So that you can do." There's that action word, and observe all that's written therein. Then I'm gonna make your way prosperous and you're going to have good success. Joshua 1 and 8. And then you can go to Psalms 1. Huh? Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor does he sit in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. In his law does he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by, that's, it all flows together. Like the word is singular, it's one. It comes together.
Yeah,
That's for
beautiful,
God. His way is perfect. The
beautiful.
word of the Lord has already been tried and tested. Psalms 18:30. It's already been proven. It's already been tested. Now, it's not going to be easy, but it's simple.
Yeah,
Because in order to get the different levels, there may be different devils that's going to try to test you.
I
What?
love that one.
Can I
In
say that
order to
again?
get to the other level, you're gonna have the devil that will try to stop you. But
Yeah,
be
yeah,
of good
test you.
cheer.
Yeah, you got to go through. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they went through the fiery furnace. David had to go through the lion's den. I read over in James, Jesus' half brother, chapter 1, verse 2. He said, as you go through those different levels, count it all joy, knowing that what you believe, your swagger, your pistis, your faith, ah, testing of your faith is going to produce some patience. A lot of you don't know patience is just long suffering. You got to suffer, right? Some of y'all look at test as a bad thing, but testing is necessary to graduate. Like when you went to school, you had to take a test in order to go to the next level. When you want to learn how to drive, they give you a test before they allow you to go on the road. Testing just shows that you're trusted. Listen to me. Testing shows that you can be trusted. And so you're going to be tested in the process of trying to govern, but it's just a show that is necessary to get you to the next level. And
Oh,
so count it all joy, knowing that the testing of your faith going to produce patience. And let that patience have its perfect work in you so you can be complete and you don't lack nothing,
oh, I
right?
love that. I love that. I love
It's
that.
necessary.
Yeah, Mayor. While we were still backstage, you talked about how you are now working on a big project in Dumfries. Can you wanna elaborate a little bit
Yeah.
on that one when you pick up the position, the way your community, your city was, and today to be dealing with billion of dollar to
Yeah.
try to in the kingdom way see how you implement change over the years.
Yeah. So just to talk about in the last 3 years, we've increased the tax revenue in the community. My entire council. Remember, I told you it take a team effort, right? And so, bringing the right team, we've been able to increase our revenues over 50% in the last 4 years, all while keeping the taxes flat. So we didn't raise the community's taxes. We just brought in more business and more commercial business. In the next 5 years, if we look at over the next 5 years, our income is going to increase by 300% in this community. You know what I said? We're gonna triple the current budget that we have. How are we gonna do that? We're bringing in a new gaming tax. We brought in a Department of Motor Vehicle Services. We sold a cell phone tower. We refinanced some bonds, which brought us in a total savings, which gave us the position where we're gonna increase the revenue in this community by 300%. We're overseeing right now almost $1 billion in new development. We got a road project that's worth 180 million, almost $200 million. We have a resort that's being built that's a $500 million by itself, so that's another 500. We have a gaming emporium that's worth $5 million that's already been built. We have a senior housing and a mixed use facility that's being built that's about $55 million. We have a pillared church senior community project that's another $25 million project. We have some stormwater infrastructure projects that's being built that's about $3 million. We've been putting some broadband up, like internet stuff. That's another probably $500,000 in investment, and then some maintenance on the road, another $1 million investment. So that's close to $1 billion in investment. We've advanced a lot of our strategic priorities so that we can have a well-managed government. We've got the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award since I've been the mayor 3 years in a row. We've recruited and retained great staff. Uh, we had some policy updates in our police department that I think the community will love. Uh, we did our use of force policy. We've implemented a new pursuit. We brought in new tasers for our police department, body cameras. We've got our computer systems in line with the county around us. We're getting ourselves very valuable. We created a whole new Main Street program, customer service center. We got a whole bunch of projects that were delayed that's now moving forward. And I think the list can go on and on and on. And it just took having that right vision. All of it falls into the vision of making the town of Dumfries a destination place where people live, work, and play.
Wow, that
Yeah,
is beautiful. I mean, you have the whole agenda full for the next 5 years, and then the way you implemented it is so beautiful. I mean, with all your team, that is incredible, and I'm pretty sure. Not only the people of your community of Dumfries will be very proud of the whole team which you lead in, but also some people around may kind of be keen to want to just ask you, how did you manage to move from ground zero, from the place where nobody wanted to come and visit, to the place where everybody will now wanted to come and visit? I mean, that is incredible.
it's almost like when a new house is being built or a new project is being built, somebody might see a pile of dirt, but somebody else sees a beautiful mansion, right? And so to have the ability to be able to remember, I talked about Nicodemus earlier. Nicodemus went to Jesus at night, and Nicodemus couldn't understand it. And Jesus said, you can't until you change the way you looking at the thing that you looking at will never change. Let me say that. Let me say that real slow. Until you change the way you see a thing, the thing that you're looking at will never change.
Wow.
So he told Nicodemus, except you change your thoughts, except you be born again. Like, I need you to take and wipe your whole hard drive clean, and I need to upload some original software into your mind, because you're looking at this thing all wrong. And so I had to reprogram people through my communication, through my language, right? Because the way to confuse people is to have different language, like the Tower of Babel, right? And so I had to get everybody speaking the same language, because initially their precepts was wrong, so their concepts was wrong, and there was a misconception with this community. And so once we all had the same precepts, that means their concepts was in line, because truth is just original information. Truth them on a history lesson, give them truth so they can see things from the same perspective that I saw it, and no longer is it a pile of dirt, but it's a beautiful mansion. So I said, let me tell you about the Dumfries I see. Let me show you what's on this hill right here. And I begin to describe things that now, although they couldn't see it, they can see it. They went from I believe it when I see it to, oh, I see it because I now believe it. Listen to it.
Wow, that is powerful. My goodness, mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That's how you work with a team.
Yeah, that's how you work with them.
You take them from the place where they're supposed to be. You take them from the place where they are not to the place where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, call those things that are not as though they should be, right? And to be able to, but it takes somebody with a unique vision, right? And so you got to take the politics out of it. You have to take what traditional society says, and remember that we learned that without a vision, the people perish. And so people need something to strive for. Like in your history, in your mind, sometimes there's a lot of pain, it's a lot of hurt, it's a lot of built up. But in your vision, it's a lot of you can see things that most people can't see. There's happiness, because eventually your vision becomes your now. That's why vision is like the most important thing. Like when a person loses vision, they lose their hope for living. They lose their zeal for life. Like if you want to cure people of depression and anxiety, get them to see further than their eyes can see. Get them to dream again. Get them. Why was Joseph able to come from the pit to the jail to the palace? Because he had this vision of who God told him he was. And I had this unique vision for this community that I kept talking about it. I kept speaking it until now it can become flesh and dwell among us.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that is why you were able to be related, because people finally now understood that no, we can't let him go. It's not a time now, because you have too much in you to change the whole community and cause even the next 10 generation to rise up and say, yes, we really want to live in this community.
Absolutely.
Because somebody has a vision. Wow. My goodness. Did you have anything else to add before we move to our session of Q&A?
No, I think that's great. I definitely like to hear the questions. You know, questions are good because questions always dictate the lesson. And so I'm looking forward to some great questions, because that's how the master teacher always taught.
Oh yes, definitely. we're gonna have a short minute break, and then after that, then we come up with a question. Thank you very much, moderator.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that ad. Yes, Mayor Derry, as you saw, that is our own ad. That is our whole team. We work it together, you know. The vision calls the people together, team, so that we could push all this out. MBN, the voice of the kingdom, contrasting the worldly fact with the kingdom to the original. Now it's the time for question. Thank you. And the first one is going to be popping on the screen, which I'm going to read to you, sir, from our own Ambassador George Abraham, all the way from Germany, is asking the question, sir, how do you to encourage other kingdom citizens like you to follow your example?
Well, the encouragement comes from me just living the life, right? It's all about kingdom living, right? And being an ambassador for this. And as an ambassador, your the life you live speaks louder than the words you speak. Can I say that again? The life you live speaks louder than the words you say. And so the Bible says, let your light so shine that men will see your good works and glorify your Father who's in the home country, who's in heaven. And so the key for inspiration is me just to continue to do the work that I've been gifted to do, to continue to walk the walk that God has called me to walk. And so the light just reflects through me.
I love it. I love that as an ambassador, your light speak louder
Then what?
than what you speak.
Mhm.
People go out, they want to be the light of us with their voice, but the light is not shining.
Yeah, people might not read our Constitution. They might not read our book, but they're going to see the lives that we live, right? And so we have to embody our home country
Ooh,
in which we are an
embody,
ambassador.
embody our
Yeah,
whole country.
yeah,
I love it. I love that. Wow. Thank you very much for that answer. Very
yeah,
beautiful answer. We really need to embody our home country.
yeah.
We are here to represent, not speak
Absolutely.
ourselves, but speak what the king says. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
The next question is going to pop up on the screen. I think he has it. What is your mayor position making out of you?
What is it making out of me? It's just,
Mhm.
the biggest thing is recognizing the influence I have, the responsibility. There's a certain burden of freedom of having this position and carrying this mantle, knowing that it's not about me, but actually preparing the next generation. I need to be preparing the next two generations. So it's helping me to recognize that one, that I know that my time isn't infinite, right? So at some point, somebody else has to be prepared for the next phase and the next leg. And so helping me recognize the importance of succession plan, helping me to recognize that I'm working to get to the full weight of my capacity as mayor, right? And that's the glory. Full weight is the glory of God, right? So when we say let the glory of God rise among us, we know the glory of the day is at 12 noon. We know that the glory of the mango trees are when the mangoes are ready to be picked. Well, the glory is when I manifest and I give God the very best I can give him in this position. And so I'm letting that just rise among me. And so I'm hoping that um, I'm able to prepare a few generations because um, the key that because of the baton that was passed to me, right? It's not to leave a legacy in buildings, but to leave a legacy in people. So if I can leave a legacy in people, I know that I can defeat death. I know that I can defeat the grave.
That is what all of the ambassadors should strive to live for.
Yeah.
And I love it. What your current position is making out of you to think beyond the grave.
Yeah, I gotta thank you.
Thinking beyond the grave. Now, not when you get old. Think beyond the grave now.
Yeah.
What would the people say about you?
Yeah.
The
I,
next
I
generation.
I I don't want to. I don't. I wanna live full and die empty. I don't want to take anything that God put in me to the grave. I need to release everything that He's given me.
Don't rob your generation, as Papa Miles would say.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, beautiful, beautiful. I feel that he has another question. Don't see it right here. I'm looking at the chat. Um, Ambassador George, do you have any other question? Because I see that look like that was your second question. I don't know whether he is still there. Yeah. Not that was not the question. That is his explanation right there. I think that I don't know whether he's still on, and then if he's still on, he has the another question. Um, but
Those are great questions,
yeah, those are very great questions. Let's see. Let's check here. I'm checking something quickly here.
on the Facebook. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think people, if they understand, the key right now is just, get engaged, right? Don't sit on the sidelines. There are things that irritate you every day. There are things that make you upset. Right now, continue to serve solutions in your community. Serve solutions on your job. Become a person of value. The more valuable you become, the more things are going to be attracted to you. And that's always my goal, is just to be as valuable as I can be in this position. So that's what I urge people to do. Just become people of value.
great, great. Thank you. I think the other question is yeah, there was kind of highlight. Say, okay, you boost our face, especially me, who inspired one day to go into the politics. Then what would be your advice to me or to others like me? I think that you touched on that already. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
other question I'm seeing it here. Yeah,
Yeah.
what
Just serve.
would be your advice? So you say to the advice you want to give to people who want to go to the, especially in the politics, because be a mayor is be a politician.
Yeah. Yeah. The key is just become a person of value, get in there and just figure out how to serve. Look at David, look at Joseph. I mean, David served Saul. He was anointed the king, but he served him. He played music for him. He carried his thing. He did what he needed to do. Most people look in trying to be served, but you need to be a servant. I can't emphasize that enough. Your first job is to learn how to serve, to get in and serve the people, serve the community, become a person of value.
Oh, you got a big dog. Oh,
Delivery.
wow, 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 wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I like that. I like that. We need to always be a servant leader. We have to emulate our master teacher, Jesus Christ. He was a king. He's a king. He yet, although he's a king, he's a servant king, a servant leader. And that really is beautiful. So Ambassador or Mayor, did you have any final remarks before we wrap up this session today? We know that you are very, very occupied with all what you are doing, implementing your beautiful community. And I know you still have to, you owe me some barbecue. Remember that.
Yes.
I need to come to Dumfries and have my own barbecue. Or you're going to come around here and then we're going to have some good barbecue because it caused my husband to be hungry. So,
Yeah.
do you have any final remarks? I remember your spice is so good, so good. So good.
Yes.
Or do you have a book, the book, or maybe your website, a link that people could
Yeah, pull my website, derekwood.com.
Okay, so
derekwood.com.
please, moderator, can you put the link for his website so that people highlight it, please? Can you highlight that link? Thank you. Okay, that's his link. And for anyone who would like to contact Mayor Derek Wood, you can
Yep.
go on derekwood.com and then you could have a great chat with him. I think you are very also almost daily on LinkedIn. How you call it? LinkedIn or Lincoln? Because I watch you from time to time on LinkedIn when you're talking about mentoring and all that one, and the 365 that you did last year was awesome, awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
every day. Yeah, and Instagram, I try to really connect with people and talk and do some mentorship there.
Yeah.
The derekwood.com. So a lot of people don't know I'm up for re-election this year. We talked earlier, re-elections, and anybody who, I mean, got any value and you want to contribute to the campaign, they can go there and they can make a campaign contribution. If they want to give $1 million, that's okay. There's no limit. Million is spelled Million. If they want to, if they want to contribute that big, there's no limitations to helping out on this level. But no, seriously, campaign, the load is always lighter when everyone lifts. I talked about team. A team is a group of people working together towards a common goal. And I think we all have a common goal because one of us is all of us. Although you don't live on the community and you don't feel like what I'm doing could benefit you, you got to understand that one of us is all of us. So you sowing into me is actually you sowing into yourself to really help get to that level.
So
And
true.
especially if you got something out of this, I think that's important to help us lift the load. We got an interested in election, somebody who's unproven in the community, who was against me bringing in 700 jobs. They were against me bringing in the gaming facility. They were against me bringing in the 300-room hotel. And so it's just going to be an interesting fight. So I just ask that everybody come in and contribute to that. I want to thank y'all who hung around and really listened to this and tapped in. Don't keep this a secret. Continue to be a part of MBN and what Ambassador Lawson is doing and how she's bringing this to us. And so, yeah, derekwood.com, all my social, everything is on that website. You can find it. Thank y'all again for the invitation to be here. I'm truly honored and humbled anytime I get the opportunity to share what God has given to me.
You're very welcome, Mayor Derek Wood, and we know that it's not going to be your last time. We're going to call you back to come again and share light to another part of this key to kingdom government impact. People really need to engage in the government because we are sitting aside while we complaining, more complaining will not solve the situation, solve the problem. It's only when we get involved into it. Correct. And you are doing fantastic job and you're doing great. And I'm pretty sure heaven is smiling upon you because the job that you have taken upon you, you actually, it's just like 10 people like you. Just let's say 10 people like you in the government, that will totally change upside down. The government that we're seeing today, 10 people like you. So you inspire people to go into government and let people really understand that this is something that we could do. And then we have received authority and power. We have already been approved to do that. So I'm so grateful to Papa Mars that connect us together because we sat under his mentorship program, his teaching and all that. And then also to Trista last time because I lost your contact. I said, oh yeah, he's speaking, man. This my brother here. He needs to come on board. He needs to come and share. Oh, keys to kingdom government impact with us. It has been my privilege and honor today to host this show. And I know that once we are off air, many people usually they go and they share our broadcast, they share and they watch. So please share, watch it, and also do not forget to actually go on derekwood.com and see exactly what he's doing. If you need mentorship and you feel that, okay, you want to go into the government, this is a person I'm going to point. I say, okay, this one, he could actually mentor you to be that great politician or to be that great mayor or to be that great governor, because now that he's in, he understands well the system and he knows how you could also get involved and try to change the system. Thank you. Thank you. But prior to me letting you go today, be that major evangelist, share this broadcast with many. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Rumble, on BitChute, on Twitter. And do not forget to click the bell on our YouTube channel and subscribe to it so that anytime that we live, then you will be the first person to know that we are live. Thank you for inviting us into your home. Thank you very much for having us and then for the privilege of your time. We know that we are doing our part and you also watching are doing also your part, because once you get the knowledge and then you have the understanding of that knowledge, now you could begin to implement it. That means application, which is wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And until I see you again another time, let us wave that royal salute as all kingdom ambassadors, citizen, and king and queen. Let us meet at the air where the eagle fly high. Bye. Bye.